Of mountains, the LGBTQ leadership, that an environment like this is being created of violence against our community. And so to see it play out this morning or late last night was horrible yet again.
Hate crimes increasing for the fourth year in a row, driven in larger U.S. cities by incidents targeting Asian, Jewish, and LGBTQ communities.
You've seen it around all of these marginalized communities whose voices take up a smaller piece of the pie in this country, but need more protection because we're victims and we're being targeted by these extremist communities.
Just yesterday in New York, police thwarted a potential attack against the Jewish community, arresting 2 armed men in Penn Station, one wearing a swastika. The NYPD now ramping up police presence in communities that are potential targets. Tonight, Colorado, a community wounded.
When Christians in the church are unwilling to stand up to the lies being forced down their throats, this is when Satan wins. Here's a lie from Satan. Gender roles are fluid. On one hand, unbelievers state that men and women are exactly the same and should fulfill the same exact roles in relationships. On the other hand, unbelievers are saying that sometimes men are born in women's bodies and some women are born in men's bodies. But if men and women were exactly the same, why would there be any need for someone to change their gender anyways? Culture isn't willing to answer this question. Rather, they're just eager to cancel anyone who is willing to ask these types of questions. And this fear of being canceled is working its way into the church. And Satan is so pleased with this because Satan always works in the dark.
To embrace the possibilities of tomorrow, we must reject the perennial prophets of doom and their predictions of the apocalypse. They are the heirs of yesterday's foolish fortune tellers, and I have them, and you have them, and we all have them. And they want to see us do badly, but we don't let that happen. They predicted an overpopulation crisis in the 1960s, mass starvation in the 70s, and an end of oil in the 1990s. These alarmists always demand the same thing: absolute power to dominate, transform, and control every aspect of our lives. We will never let radical socialists destroy our economy, wreck our country, or eradicate our liberty. America will always be the proud, strong, and unyielding bastion of freedom. In America, we understand what the pessimists refuse to see: that a growing and vibrant market economy focused on the future lifts the human spirit and excites creativity strong enough to overcome any...
It's truly disgusting how racists have stolen the word woke from AAVE and now use it as a slur and a shorthand for black with negative context. And if you think she capping, I got the video for you.
And we reject woke ideology.
Oh, he's not done. He's not done. Wait.
We fight the woke in the legislature. We fight the woke in the schools. We fight the woke in the corporations. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Florida is where woke goes to die.
So before any of you say there's nothing wrong with that, let me explain to you what a dog whistle is. In politics, a dog whistle is the use of coded or suggested language in political messaging to garner support from a particular group without provoking opposition. Oh, they done found them a word that means all the words without saying none of the words. And to be clear, it's not just a secret slur for black with negative context, but when they say woke, they mean any ideology that does not support heteronormative white supremacist capitalist patriarchal hegemony. That means being woke is anything that ain't cheering for whiteness, straightness, manhood, and money. Or in other words, if you down for the queers, the colors, the women's, and the broke people, then you woke and they not rocking with you. But seriously, when you exist in a system that historically has supported you, privileged you, and kept you in a position of power, equity, and equality for everyone else, feels like oppression to you. Sorry. I love you.
As you may know, this country has had some issues with race. Oh, okay. Sphincters are tightening already. we've had some issues with race. There was that incident in 1619, and then had a few hiccups since then, but mostly it's been fine. We've all been chilling. It's been chill. Until a couple years ago, another rare bad thing happened to black people in the summer of 2020.
George Floyd's death is sparking a national reckoning.
The death of George Floyd, it sparks this global movement, this racial reckoning.
We here in America certainly had our own racial reckoning in the wake of George Floyd's death.
A growing number of American companies facing a racial reckoning.
As America confronts a racial reckoning.
A racial reckoning.
It also comes at a time of racial reckoning for the country.
Oh. So you guys are finally ready to talk about racial reckoning. We don't want to right the wrongs. We just reckon we're going to think about it for a bit. Well, not to worry. This egregious midday murder will not be in vain. Let the work of righting centuries of oppression begin.
Aunt Jemima is being retired.
By any means necessary.
Cream of Wheat is removing the black chef from its packaging.
Chris Harrison, host of The Bachelor, has announced he is stepping away.
Every NFL stadium, you're going to see phrases like end racism.
Tonight we know the Dixie Chicks are dropping the Dixie.
The village of Hempstead renamed Main Street Black Lives Matter Way.
We will now kneel for our moment of silence.
Worst production of Lion King ever. But more than Kente cloth calisthenics and some long overdue brand readjustments, there came another, even more meaningful cultural shift.
I think white people need to listen.
White people should listen to African Americans.
White people, we need to listen.
We are listening. I am listening. Now it's time for us to have ears to hear.
Oh, good, because I've been using mine for fucking. Two at a time. I like my ear fucking like I like my Pink Floyd albums in stereo. Yeah, we changed it from rehearsal for the crew that got a bit of a tickle out of that one. Yes, apparently this racial issue that so divides America could have just been solved if only black people would have said something. So, okay, white people, ears to hear.
This is the harsh reality for black people in America today, that we are expected to participate in democracy while receiving conditional citizenship in return.
When zip code determines what kind of school that you go to, when zip code determines what kind of food you can eat, these are the vestiges of enslavement.
So when they say, why do you burn down the community? Why do you burn down your own neighborhood? It's not ours. We don't own anything.
It's amazing to me why we keep loving this country and this country does not love us back.
I mean, this stuff is hard to hear. But these are tough conversations, and I would probably have more hope in its impact on our culture if those same exact sentiments hadn't already been conveyed to white people over and over and over, like 1 year.
I'm not asking what's in the infusion. I'm not looking up all of the ingredients in the infusion. I am sticking out my arm and I am taking the infusion.
Some of us used to be in the club.
And promised several months ago to revise the lyrics to his song They Don't Care About Us, lyrics many called anti-Semitic.
Last year he angered Jewish groups when he sang these words.
I'm shocked. Jew me, sue me, kick me, kike me. Those are the words that he told us that he would never use again.
The bigger he has gotten, the bigger the shots. And of course, as I said, when Christ did things to free the oppressed people, and they tried to destroy him also.
I don't like bleaching. I was so tired of it. They start out the most popular person in the world, make a lot of money, big house, cars, and everything, end up with penniless. It is conspiracy. The Jews do it on purpose.